So I'm a little sick right now, um, which is a little annoying. I think it's just the weather, um, but I thought I might as well. I basically want to do this anyways. So quite a few of you are gonna know that I made a video about 4 days ago, and I made it on the uh, objective personality system, which is basically a typology system based on Jung's work, Carl Jung, the psychologist Carl Jung. And honestly, I didn't uh, expect the reaction that I got. I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this, and it's just to save myself some time, just to cut down, when I talk to people about objective personality and things like that. I didn't expect, in fact, I expected like a little bit of a negative reaction from the community because, um, I've not been in the community very long, and I've not been super active in the community either. I don't have many connections, so I just thought, you know, it's not really, it's not gonna wash well with the community, or at best, it's going to, the most likely option is just going to be ignored. That's what I thought. However, the reaction from the community was overwhelmingly positive. I got so much good feedback. So many people, really, really supportive, and offering constructive criticism in a very, very polite way. Like, I really loved your video, man. Uh, it would be a little bit better if, you explained this part a little bit more. If you adjusted the volume here a little bit because you're a bit quiet, and and the music was a bit higher. Maybe use a different soundtrack, that kind of stuff. Um, but apart from that, even that was great. That's great. Um, because it's coming from a place of, you know, I like your stuff and I want to help you. so, so that's great. And so many other members of the community were all like, wow, this is really good. You know, you should really consider doing this a little bit more. You should really make this public. Now, the reason I made it private was, like, I left it unlisted, was because I never intended for this channel to be an objective personality channel. I still don't intend for it to be an objective personality channel. Um, and the reason for that is twofold. One, because the community has a lot of awesome creators already. So I don't want to just do the same thing that they're doing. And two, just because I don't feel like it's gonna be received well, um, through my connections in real life. I don't feel like, so if I tell them, oh yeah, I make videos on objective personality, they're gonna be like, oh, what's that? You're wasting your time. Do something constructive. so so yeah, I don't wanna make videos on objective personality for those two main reasons. Um, and at the end of the day, objective personality is just a tool. However, this has kind of the overwhelmingly positive feedback and everything has kind of not forced me, that sounds bad, but like really made me reconsider like old goals that I used to have, like that I left. I mean, so I left. All right. So in terms of like old goals, I've always wanted to, you know, being a Muslim, I've always wanted to, you know, be a positive face, a positive outlook, and I kind of always wanted to do something creative in order to express that, because Muslims aren't very popular in the creative space, except for um, the poetry space. Um, there's a lot of Muslims in the poetry space, and wow, you know, some of them are really really good. A lot of them. Um, but yeah. So aside from the poetry space, in terms of basically every other aspect of media, there's a lot of there's very little sort of like Muslim pull, Muslim engagement. At least that's what I'm seeing, and I wanted to change that. Um, but I just like I've kind of been adapting as I've gone along. Like, you know, maybe this, maybe that, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, maybe I should, you know, I didn't want to start a YouTube channel for ages, because I thought, well, YouTube is gonna die eventually. So why would I want to put all my energy into something that's finite? You know, as it turns out, you know, YouTube is still here, so um, so you know, might as well. Yeah, it's difficult in terms of the saturation and all that. You know, it's quite overly populated, but um, you know, there is a possibility. Um, so you know, I kind of adjusted the route I wanted to take in terms of expression and stuff like that over the years. I didn't get very far in a lot of like a lot of things just like were an idea, and then that's it. They just stayed as an idea. Um, with last year, what I did was I started because I was just getting it not just getting into, but I had been into um typology, like Carl Jung's work, for a brief amount of time. I just learned of objective personality and a few things of theirs. Like yeah, I'd just been sort of getting familiar with it. This was a year ago. Um, so I made a video about a year ago, um, trying to compare Young, OP, and Islam basically side by side. And I didn't get very far in that because like I don't really understand Young's work that well. Obviously, I didn't like it's very comprehensive, and there's a lot of it. It took me a week to read an 11-page pamphlet, and that wasn't even from Young. It was just it was just from a guy um, who was giving commentary on something that Young, yeah, a couple of Young's ideas. So, and I think I couldn't conclude much anyway. In that video. So I thought, is this really even worth it? But since then, I have, you know, really dived into OP a little, quite a bit deeper, and so yeah, I want to give that another shot, and I want to compare like the principles of OP and the principles of Islam, and see where we go. At the end of the day, like I need to settle on a path, because I'm not happy with the way things have been. You know, in terms of, you know, my life path and everything. I'm not happy with the way things have gone, and I know that if I was to like die tomorrow, if I would I be happy? The answer is no. I wouldn't be happy. Like, I don't feel like I've achieved enough. I don't feel like I've accomplished sufficient. You know, sufficiently what's what I would consider acceptable. So basically, I find this to hopefully be a step in the right direction. And aside from this, I have other creative pursuits as well that I'm trying to work on in the background. Poetry, I'm gonna maybe try to do a bit of, but maybe a bit less of. Most of this channel at the moment has been poetry, but the thing with poetry is, it's just here and there. It's not, you don't really have, there's not really a path that you can sort of take the poetry. You can, but yeah, you can do that. But I'm thinking a couple of other, I'm thinking of going things the different, like doing things differently. So yeah, um, that's what I'm thinking. So I didn't even introduce myself. So we are now at the end of the episode, but welcome to the fourth episode of the Ink Spill podcast. I am your host, Prototype Quill, and now I'm signing off.